That's carried. And the next one is the draft Christchurch City Council submission on the zero carbon bill, yeah, that's and the resolution here though will be that councillors Buck and Templeton appear before the select committee in support of the council submission by video conference if they're not coming to Christchurch, you know. So I think we should, yeah, if required, not, yeah, if required, because I think, you know, we're making a submission on zero carbon. We're not going to jump on a plane to go to Wellington to deliver it. So, okay, so moved by Sarah and seconded by Pauline. So
an amendment that they travel by electric car to the venue if it's crashed.
What about my bike?
Oh, bike as well. Electric bike.
It might be, yeah.
No, normal bike today, not even electric. So
that's good. I just support, strongly support this, and I think it's a really good, sensible approach.
Yep. Phil?
I strongly support it too. There's some really good features in the submission. I just wondered if, in fact, with the section, Kevin, on transport emissions, where we say we support increase in investment in public transport. That's on our page 502, Kevin. If we should emphasise what the DHB told us just the other day, that the huge amount of carbon emissions, I think it's something like 2 million tonnes a year, just as what's happening in Christchurch currently, but also the percentage of that is due to transport emissions. Because like what they told, I'd always thought it was about 25%, but they told us it was about 53%. So I'm just wondering, in fact, to emphasise that aspect, if we might add that in. I'm aware we're ready to sign it off. That's all.
Sorry, what? I'm just.
So that's on page 502,
yeah.
Right at the end.
Sorry, which section is that on the questions? There's 16 questions.
Sorry,
Councillor. Oh, the additional
It'd
information?
be your page 12.
Yeah, your page 12.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what is it? Major cycle? Where about?
Well, I'm really making the point. Could we emphasise how, in fact, the investment in public transport and cycleways is so really important to Christchurch, given our current emissions?
No, we're still using diesel buses. That's the problem.
And the only other question I had, Kevin, I just wondered, in fact, in terms of our commitments, I'm not quite sure, but had we added in the support that this council gives to healthy homes, that perhaps a line on that could be included, especially, I guess, in light of the government's support for those policies. I might have missed it, but
we could add those 2 points to the additional information.
Okay.
That's no problem.
All right. Sarah? Oh, Pauline?
I was just wondering if Kevin might have a few things to say on the work that the working group did on this and the additions that we made to the... What, do you have a summary of what we did? Or?
From the councillor working group? Yeah. Absolutely. So a key part of that was the suggestion from councillors to have that section we're talking about now, the additional information. So to send that message through to government, there's a lot of good work going on from council activities. So that's been added in. The other area of discussion was around accountability for government. So we've got the commission being set up, which is a good suggestion, but also how can there be accountability, appropriate accountability from what the commission is reporting on through to government. So it's an interesting area for them to discuss, and the select committee should be some good discussions around that. And yeah, I think in summary, also council having the ability to work closely with government on mitigation and adaptation. We're very keen as a council. I don't think that was coming through very strong in the discussion document. So council has put their hand up, as other councils, I presume, are very interested in this area and want to be fully involved with the government on it.
Okay, so wrapping up the debate, Sarah?
Yeah. What did you want to speak?
Sorry? Oh, sorry, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's really good to see that in point 10 that GDP may not be the best economic measure to indicate how New Zealand's economy might be measured in the future. I think that's a really good part of our submission that actually, I think moving forward as a society we need to think about better measures on how we measure growth, all of those kind of things in New Zealand. And also just wanted to make the additional points there, addressing the building code in New Zealand for best practice of energy efficiency requirements. I think is a really good point to have in there as well, because I think a lot of the time we talk about climate change and energy dependency, and one of the biggest places we have energy dependency is around heating our homes, and New Zealand has a very bad track record of that and very unhealthy homes in our society. So I think that's really good that that point has been noted as well.
Very good. Phil?
Look, I think it's a really excellent submission. I'm really pleased with the amendments that we have proposed, especially, for example, including social health expertise as part of the commission, those kind of things, but also the references that we're making to bringing communities along with us. So, because we know that in the future, that in terms of adaptation, that we as a city and our people are going to be part of it. So I really commend those, all of the whole submission, but particularly those aspects.
Good. Sarah?
Thanks. So just quickly wrapping up. I mean, as a city, we have made our commitments. So we've committed as a council organisation to become net neutral by 2030 and sign the Global Covenant of Mayors, and getting the city to a state where we're net neutral by 2050. That's not an easy task, and I've seen commentary in the media and social media, not the media, they're a bit more informed, about us doing it too early and we only need to cut everything off at 2050. That just doesn't work. We need to have a transition, we need to get started now, but it's not enough that we do it as a city. We need that national legislation in place. So really pleased that we've got a really strong submission here encouraging this and encouraging the highest standards and the highest mitigation possible, because if we don't mitigate the impacts we'll have a lot more adaptation to do and that will be a lot more expensive for our communities.
Thank you. All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.